Okay, guys, so if you want to draw a picture of 3D forms like this is a cylinder, a cone, a sphere, a cube. It's not a triangle, a rectangle, a circle, and a square, right? Because it forms, and you learned in kindergarten the difference between a form and a shape. And I know that because I know all the teachers have their bags full of forms that you learn about. So when you start though, the shape of a cylinder, the top of the cylinder, that is not a circle, that's an oval, okay? So when you start, lightly, my hand is touching the paper and I'm just gonna make an oval that's this big. And it's not very good to start off with, but I can always fix it later. I just wanna get stuff in the right spot first. So then I make my cylinder, and it comes down like this on one side. It comes down like this on the other side. And then my cone, and the bottom of my cylinder is like right here. Okay, and the bottom is a curve, and my cone is right here. My cone is about right here, right about. See where that is? That's a little bit less than half. So there's half. So it's right about here. But really, you're making a triangle shape to start, and I actually probably should make it a little closer. So because I drew nice and lightly, I can erase it really easily. Okay, and there's my cone. Now again, it's kind of messy to start with. That's okay. You just want to kind of get stuff in the right spot. My sphere is right here. Okay? And then my cube is right here. Now my cube, if you look, this back corner is tall. If you look at the height of the paper, like going up this way, this back corner is the tallest. So I'm going to have this line that comes off the side of the cube, and then it goes up like this a little bit, and then it goes over like this a little bit. It comes back down. Oops, and I'm going to turn my paper so it's easier to make that line. You know, turn the paper if you have to, because that makes it way easier. So if it came down here, it would be like this. Okay? And then it comes back over here. And then there's this flat side, and I can kind of just connect the two. All right? Then on the inside on this one, it goes like this. And this comes down further, and then it cuts across. So it's kind of like that. So that's the basic setup of it, okay? Then I can go back in and redo my cone a little bit better. And I'm turning my paper because it's always easier to kind of keep your hand in one spot and move your paper. Hey, then when I go to add the shadows, because that's what's going to make it look 3D, when I go to add the shadows, oops. Oh, look, I was able to erase it easy because I drew lightly, right? So then, now I want to add the shadow that's right here, okay? So to do that, I'm doing what's called cross-hatching. All cross-hatching is the series, are a bunch of lines that go up and down, because this goes up and down. So I'm going to make little lines that go up and down from that edge because it's bright up top here because that's where the light is hitting it. So it kind of goes like this. All right, and it actually comes down further. Okay, now to make it look like even more, I'm going to go the other way. Now these are the same curve as the top here. So I put in my lines like this, and I'm doing a little curve to them. Okay? Little curve. And then I'm going to take the side of my pencil after I kind of make this look real dark right here. Because you can see it's really dark right here and really light right there. Now I'm going to take the side of my pencil and I'm going to use the side. And I'm going to shade in that way too. So now I used both the side of my pencil and the crosshatch. And if you look at the bottom, from where the cone, the shadow of the cone is casting a shadow on my cylinder. So right here is the top of the cone. Okay? And I do the same thing. I just do a bunch of lines to start off. This is curved more. Okay? And you get the idea. Now I'm just adding lines and lines and lines. And then I go back in. And I use the side of my pencil now. Okay, so you can see you start to add layers of shadows that way. And there are shadows on the ground too, in between things. You can see it reaching over to the cone in between here, or in between the cone and the cylinder. There's a shadow, a dark shadow, behind where the cylinder, back in here. Okay? So there's not only shadows on the objects, but on the ground casting shadows. Okay? And then you just keep going in, like on the circle. See, all the shadows are on the right side of the objects, but in the cone, or in the cube, I should say, it's going to be really dark in here because that's the inside. It's like a plastic cup kind of. You got to think of it as like a piece of plastic like that you can see into. And actually, the more you do this, you guys, it becomes more fun. So you can see I'm putting in all the basic shadows here. And this one, it goes like this. This gets erased here. And it kind of shoots off this corner. Okay. All right. Now this isn't done. The example on the board, on the screen is done. And you can even see on the paper. There's like this was on a piece of paper that had like a little wrinkle in it. And there's even shadow in here. Okay. Oh, and there's this one coming off the circle. I could actually spend all day doing this because this is so much fun. But I won't. All right. So I will let you get going. And just look at what you're doing when you're working, okay? All right. Let's get going.